come on, man. They said there would be trials. Never said I wouldn't fall. Dog, I just can't give up now. Dog, they tried to come at us.
They
Come
did.
too far from where we started from. It's just slow singing and flower bringing. We can't have nothing nice.
No,
We get a
really
win,
can't.
we lose our rookie. We get a win, we lose Fred. We get a loss, we lose Bosa. It just, I'm sorry, man. I can't bury the lead. I'm very excited that we won. The mark of a good team that knows itself can go on the road and handle business. I love that. There's a lot of good things to talk about, but we got to lead with it, man. I'm gutted. You know, Michael down for the year. That hurts us. Right after we pick up Keon White and Cleveland Farrell to give us a little bit of reprieve. Like,
well, why it's funny because you and I talked. I don't know, like, well, I don't remember what we say on shows and what we say on the phone anymore. Either way, what I do know is at some point we talked about Keon White kind of just being like Michael Williams. They're basically the same guy, and now he's gonna be Michael Williams because Michael Williams isn't here, and we're looking at it going, okay, well, this team is at its best when Huff is healthy. Maybe they got Huff on one edge, Okawanu on the other, or whoever else they trade for. You can do White and Williams in the middle. That's kind of like your four, like your NASCAR package or what have you. That's when they're going to be at their best as far as a pass rushing team. Now you're without Michael Williams. Cleveland Farrell can maybe be the other guy with White, and then they can still go get the edge rusher. I mean, all is not lost, but still, it's just not ideal. The depth of this defensive line is being tested week in and week out with every single injury. It's crazy.
I mean, yeah, man. I didn't do a live watch show this past weekend. Hannibal's really sick. He's got Lyme's disease. So I've been really watching him around the clock. He's got a little limp going. So I couldn't really stream just because of how much you got to stay on top of him so he doesn't run around the house. He doesn't know how hurt he is. He can end up hurting himself. So that's why I couldn't go. But the game, this season, whenever you go through trials, man, it's important to ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? And I don't ever do that as a fan of a football team, but this team has forced me to ask myself, what is this trying to teach me, bro? Like, what are all of these injuries trying to show us? And I don't know what it is yet, but I'll tell you, the biggest thing to me is the field, the turf. I mean, can we just have a sidebar on George Kittle brought it up. We've brought it up for years. The whole league has brought it up. What are we going to do with that field in New York, bro? It's a hitman. It's a serial killer for careers.
It's a hired gun for sure.
Yeah. It is a hired gun, bro. Like, honestly, this is on the level of Deflategate. This is the 12th man. The Giants are using it. This is on the equivalent of pumping crowd noise into the stadium, but just much more nefarious. Like, it's bad. The biggest thing for me is we have to trade for somebody now. That there's no question. Like, I feel as though that, all of the questions leading up were, nice. And some of it, at one point, the debate was, hey, do they even need to do this? We're winning. The guys are growing. But the truth of the matter is that, can I say this without sounding like a curmudgeon? This was inevitable.
Oh, what a curmudgeon.
Dude, not the fact that Michael himself, it was inevitable that Michael himself would get hurt. But we got to be honest, guys. We're in week 9, and these rookies are hitting the wall. They're playing way too much football. It's the truth. Michael Williams, for what we planned for him to do this year, he hit that mark weeks ago for how much usage that we have gotten out of him. All right, for how many pass down snaps we've gotten out of him, how phenomenal he's been in the run game. And the truth of the matter is that for us to get through the entire season with all of the rookies unscathed, be able to come through the whole season, it would have been a feat. It would have been a feat. It wouldn't have been the norm. Can we at least admit that? It wouldn't have been the norm. So for me, it's unfortunate. But it's something that you kind of expected as the season kind of gets into like the grown man area of the year, where it's like, yo, even colleges are wrapping it up, brother. So I feel bad for him. I do believe that he will bounce back, and I believe you, Jesse. I think you brought this up before the show started. Is that the biggest thing that hurts you? Is that that's just months of no development, of him just rehabbing, trying to get back. That's going to take away from us seeing like an elevated version of Michael. But I will say that there's a silver lining. That boy has got a lot of fights under his belt. Okay. He's got an amateur record now. So there ain't no more big time fights or big time games where we should be worried about, can Michael handle the moment? Can Michael be able to perform? I mean, in the 9 weeks that he has played in the in his rookie season, he's had a hell of a lot of time on task, especially with situational football is concerned. So, it's just a part of his story, far from over, and I hope he bounces back.
I do too, but as you were talking, and we did talk a little bit backstage, and I had brought that up, like the biggest misfortune here is not that Michael Williams is going to miss the rest of the season. It's the development process. You're talking about a rookie player who needs as many snaps as he can get and develop. I mean, he's 21 years old. One thing that's super impressive about him is his strength that he has in spades, but he needs to develop other aspects of his game. And that doesn't necessarily happen throughout the course of this season, but it does happen through the course of the offseason. So when your first full offseason, because remember, rookies don't really get off seasons in the traditional sense. They're preparing to be drafted. So it's a dog and pony show. They're running 40s. They're slimming down to run 40s faster and shuttle speeds and all. They're just prepping to get drafted. Year 2 is really when that development truly starts. Like, you have the end of the season where you meet with your coaches and they give you a laundry list of things you need to get better at. And that is when you start to attack your growth as a player. Unfortunately for Michael Williams, because he now has a torn ACL, he's not going to be able to do a lot of those things. He's going to have to rehab to get ready to play at some point next season, which means he's not going to get the development that he specifically needs. So that could be a whole nother year. And so when I look at not just Michael Williams, though, Coach, it's everybody. I talked about how important it was, for me at least, that the future of this team looked brighter. And a big way for that to be possible was the growth and development of the first and the second year guys. Well, let's go through it real quick. Ricky Pearsall's missed 5 games. Where's his development? He wasn't here for a big chunk of the offseason.
Yeah.
Isaac Garendo is non-existent. Jordan James, non-existent. We've got healthy scratches every week. Watkins just finally got his first catch of the season. We've got Martin, who hasn't played. We've got, I mean, who else is there?
Jordan James.
Jordan James, but
CJ
defensive
West.
tackle. Yeah, CJ West.
CJ West.
We're just not developing a lot of these guys. And Alfred Collins has developed nicely. Michael Williams, he's, was getting acclimated. It just, the development of a lot of these young guys isn't happening at the pace that I had hoped for, or even just assumed that it was. I was talking about it and had been talking about it like, well, at least they're checking the box of the young guys developing. It's like, well, they're actually kind of not developing now that I really think about it. Upton Stout, sure, but that's it. I mean, Tatum Bethune, just because Fred Warner got hurt, I don't know. The development of the 2 draft classes isn't at the level that I had hoped for, and this sets it back even further. And that's kind of what sucks about this injury and really the course of the season in some aspects.
Well, let's kind of level set. We brought in how many defensive linemen for the draft this year? 2. We brought in
3.
3. We brought in Michael, Alfred, and CJ West. Right? Yep. All right. Yep. So it would have been phenomenal to hit on all 3, right? It would have been great. But we hit on 2. They start, right? They're helping us. They're helping us in the defense. And I got to be honest with you, development is something where it can either be conceptual or it can actually be anecdotal. And they have anecdotal development now. like there's something that they can actually go back and watch. Like Michael has 3 months of good tape where he can watch himself. He can look at the things that he struggled with. He can also look at the progression of things that he got better with throughout the year. So there's a track there, right? The development, I feel like development kind of gets thrown into one bag, but it's an umbrella that covers a lot of different things. And I do believe that what Michael has done thus far, being able to kind of hit the ground running once he gets back going, I think that he's going to have the mechanisms and, of course, the tape to be able to work on that stuff. Also, one thing that's really going to help him is that getting a rush playing together, right? Him understanding moves. A lot of that stuff is mental. So it's not as if he's not going to be getting those reps. It's not as if he's not going to be here, understanding what's going on the defense. It also puts him in another position where he himself can carve out a nice little role for himself to actually lead and help out some guys. Because once a season starts, the traditional leaders that actually start with the team, yeah, they're always there. But when you get a guy who ends up kind of being like, the subject matter expert at like the Z or the X or the 3-tech or the 0, and he goes down, I don't give a fuck what seniority he's on in the team. If he's got another guy coming in behind him, you bet your ass Keon White he better be talking to Michael Williams because essentially he's the starter now, right? So now it's like, all right, well, what do you know about the defense? Tell me how it's iron and sharpening iron, right? It's game planning. It's getting prepared for week in and week out. If Coach Sala and Coach Kasarik are any coaches that are worth their salt, which they are, they're not going to let him just mentally check out just because he's hurt, right? So I do see a path for the developmental side to still keep going, but you got to find a lot of different ways to skin the cat because obviously you can't get it directly with him just simply playing and getting himself together. So my biggest fear is, let me ask you this. Is Michael Williams injury prone?
It's tough to say. I mean, yeah, he had the lingering ankle thing that hurt him all offseason last year as he was preparing for the draft, and he hurt himself again.
Remember, he sat out most of his last season with an ankle injury. He didn't play his whole last season at Georgia.
I feel like, well, he did play. He should have sat out. I feel like ACLs are tough, man. Big injuries like that. I don't want to say somebody's injury prone when you add in a big injury out of nowhere, unless you've had 3 torn ACLs, Bosa. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like then at some point maybe, but this one's just tough. I don't know. It could be trending that way. I'll say that, but I don't want to go there yet. I don't want to go there quite yet.
Yeah, I don't want to go there yet either.
I don't want to be unfair,
Yeah, and on top of it, it happened on a field that we know is notorious for this stuff happening.
For sure.
So, I'm choosing to give him grace.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, even like with Ricky Pearsall, like I could say he's injury prone, and maybe he is, but even then I still am like, okay, well, maybe, maybe he's just having some rough luck and he'll have 3 straight healthy seasons. I don't know. Spidey G says, if Purdy doesn't return this season, what would that mean for the future? I mean, probably nothing because the 49ers are tied to him at least through next year. Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it.
I think they would explain it away. And I honestly believe, well, we're going to talk about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, we will. Zach says, what up, fellas? Dope fit, Jesse. I want to give a shout out to Zach. You got to see this. So Zach, my guy, goes to the game in Houston, buys this hat, brand new, gets it signed by Frank Gore.
What?
And then sends it to me. How dope is that? So
that's
I've got it displayed here. You'll see it in every show except for maybe this one, just because we kind of do like the screen thing is a little bit different. But other than that, like you'll mostly see it, but it sits right there now. It's made it onto the shelf. So Zach, I appreciate you, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things about the whole YouTube thing is like I made some lifetime friends, not only from people that I do shows with, but people that like support the show. It's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you, Zach. I appreciate you. Bill Kennedy says, miss your enthusiasm this past game, coach. Yeah, coach would have been going crazy.
Oh my
in
God,
this
the run
game.
game.
He would have been going
Finally
crazy.
let B-Rob have the ball.
I know.
Woo! I love it, man.
Yes.
I'm back for the Rams game. I'm back.
Okay. All right. Well, you're going to need to be because that game is going to be a tough one. Actually, I'll get your early thoughts on that one in a little bit. All right. So one thing I did want to talk about, we can talk about the Giants game. I think we kind of just path through it, gave a lot of your thoughts, but you're the offensive line guy. So I have to ask you, Spencer Burford comes in, and maybe it's just the Giants. Maybe it's just the Giants. I know they're not great against the run. In fact, they're the worst rushing defense in the NFL. That being said, Spencer Burford comes in. Burford looked really, really good at left guard. It finally seemed to be anchored, the position, and maybe that's the pendulum that is swinging back and forth, was that left guard position. And now that it's finally settled, everything else can settle around it. What do you think of Spencer Burford in particular? And just what you saw. I know that maybe you haven't poured through the film. It's a little early for that, but just first glance off of Spencer Burford, best left guard we have on the roster right now. Like, what are your thoughts?
Number one is that I'm happy that he's healthy.
Me too.
That's really big. Spencer Burford has been fighting injuries for the better part of 2 seasons, actually. He lost his job due to injury last season and never really got a shot back at it. So one thing that I will say is that these are the plus traits of Spencer. Remarkably athletic, good feet. He's gotten bigger. He's definitely worked on his body. Spencer Burford was not as strong as he is now when he first came into the NFL. I commend him on working on his body. The mental side of the game, the thing that you're going to have to get that Spencer leaves a little bit more to be desired is in his pass protection. I was actually thrilled with him running the ball, with him blocking the ball. Double teams. I seen he's got stronger hands. He plays with a better anchor. A lot of times Spencer would kind of play with his chest kind of like over his toes. He seems to be sitting into his stance a little bit more. That's better. I mean, these are things that this is all first verse. This is like what I saw during the game. So none of this is what I saw during film. One of the things that I will tell you is that in pass protection, he still isn't comfortable with a body. I saw him give up a pressure. I think that was his only pressure of the game, quite honestly. So I don't even want to sit here and act like it was a trend, but he did give up a pressure in pass protection. One where Matt Hennessy actually had to pick up his man and catch a piece of him. And he got beat on the inside and he kind of olayed. He was standing straight up. I believe I actually tweeted about that, Rep. But do I believe that he's clearly the starter? Jess, I don't know, man. We played against the Giants, who are horrible.
We've done this before. We've done this, lot, man. Right? We played this game before,
and I've been fooled. Mm-hmm. And I've been fooled. So I'm not even saying like we've done this from a standpoint of like, oh, we don't get fooled. No, I've been fooled. All right. I took the bait, or I took the Ben Barch bait. Okay, I did. All right. I took the Connor Colby bait. I did. I took the.
I remember that show too. You're like, oh, Jess, come on, man, just give him. I was just first game. I mean, he looked good. Just he might be a thing, and I'm like, okay, we'll see about that. And it's not even because I like wanted to disagree with you from a standpoint. You know, offensive line way better than me. I'm not gonna sit here and debate the intricacies of the offensive line play ever with you. But what I will do is be very skeptical of a bunch of late round picks and act like we just got sent a savior out of nowhere. So
yeah, like you can't like, listen, I'm not gonna, listen, we played against the Giants. The Giants are not, as a matter of fact, they're dead last in the NFL in yards per carry. So we took advantage of that. Really, you didn't necessarily see that much of an uptick as far as running game efficiency. CMC, he still only averaged like 3.8 yards a carry. Brian Robinson did average 10 yards a carry. You know what I mean? But I I don't know, man. I don't want to sit here and have somebody clip this up and be like, but coach said that Spencer Burford was the answer at left guard. But
I get it.
I'm torn because I don't want to kill him. He had a very good game. First start back. I'm happy for him. I would love to see him string it together. But again, we're in perfect vessels at pretty much every position on the offensive line, even with Trent. So it's a work in progress. But hey, it's a really good step in the right direction. He did. He had a good game.
No, definitely. I think what I like about Burford, though, is he's not a first-year guy, right? Like, this isn't the first time we've seen Spencer Burford. I think to the point, dang it, I wish I could find it. Oh, here we go. Briscoe brings up a great point. Burford can play like a Pro Bowler at times. He can lay an egg, too. Yeah. We've definitely seen that from Spencer Burford. There's no doubt about that. I think that Spencer Burford is more of a natural tackle. I've always thought that. He played tackle in college, and the right guard thing just didn't work out for the most part. Maybe the left guard thing will work out a little bit more because he did play on the left side more often than not in college, at least towards the tail end of him being drafted. I still think he's probably a tackle, but to your point, he does look a little bit bigger, maybe squattier, stronger, and if that's the case, he can play guard. I just know that the left guard position's an absolute disaster. So if Burford can make it look somewhat like a competent position, then maybe the whole line can come together a little bit. Ooh, are you muted or is that me?
I'm sorry, that's me.
Go ahead.
Colt McKivitz has had 2 bad games in a row, just for context.
Well, okay. Can we talk about that? Because I think you bring up a very, very good point. But Colton McKivitz just went against 2 of the better edge rushers,
Will Anderson and Brian Burns.
Yeah. So not only that, but he quite often got no help. Is it McKivitz's fault that he can't block the best guys in the world, knowing he's not one of the best guys in the world himself? Or is it the coach's fault for not giving him help and chipping out of the backfield and doing those types of things on a regular basis? I'm going to put that on coaching.
I mean, listen, and then Mo puts it right. Mo said it. Mo said, y'all act like he's going against bums. I mean, listen, I get that. Will Anderson, if it takes, and I can hear somebody saying right now, if it takes Will Anderson and Brian Burns to expose Colton McKivitz as not being a good right tackle, then that's a good problem to have. I understand that, but I don't know. For me, the consistency. I don't like the fact that we pay this guy, mediocre money and like we're okay with the product that he gives us, He's not necessarily that strong in the run game, and that's supposed to be his calling card. And I don't get it, man. But look, I feel like the offensive line is something that it's a labor of love. It's something that we're always going to complain about. This year, they have to do something about it, like we've been talking about all year. They have to this time to put some guys in there. But don't be surprised, man, if like Ben Barch is rolled out against the Rams, dude, and Colton McKivitz is in the 10-year Ring of Fame.
Can I say this real quick? I got it in a text and I saw it in the chat. Walter Nolan, after one drive, looks amazing. This is his first game action. He's the only guy, if they were going defensive line, that I wanted ahead of Michael Williams. I know it's only one drive and I haven't actually watched a single snap, but I'm going to crown him, buddy. I mean, I just want to be right so bad that I'm going to crown him. I was right about Walter Nolan. I knew it the whole time. The guy's a stud, and we've got the confirmation after one drive that I haven't even seen. So there we go. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Walter Nolan was a draft crush of mine too. Like, yeah, I put him all over the channel during the draft prep. But I'm really happy with what we got. I'm so glad I was wrong about Alfred Collins. Alfred Collins has proved me wrong with so many different ways. He's really turned on for us.
I will caution.
Okay.
We definitely had it out over Alfred Collins. Day 2 of the draft, I think. It was interesting because you ran day 1 of the draft on your channel. I ran it on mine. Then day 2, we went together, and same thing with day 3. I was on the side that's like, hey, Alfred Collins pretty good, and you were on the opposite side. But but it doesn't matter. What I want to say is that right now he's making you look like you have egg on your face. Let's
Yeah.
see how long that lasts for, right? I'm not going to crown or crush a player after 8 games into their NFL career. I'm just not going to do it. So I like where we're at. It's trending in a very positive direction, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yep, you're wrong, coach. You were wrong the whole way, because next year he may be buns or he might tail off this year. I mean, we don't know. There's a lot of football career left for Alfred Collins before we crown or kill him. So
okay, and I can agree with that. But let me just give you my perspective on this.
yeah,
I didn't like Alfred Collins, not because I didn't think he was going to work right away for us, or did not.
okay,
I knew that he was going to work right away for us, for what we needed him to do. Right. I didn't like Alfred Collins because I couldn't forecast his traits, meaning that
okay,
I couldn't see anything about his game that was going to get better and elevate him in year 2, year 3, year 4 of his career. Like,
that's fair.
and for lack of a better term, he was just a big ass band-aid. That's how I felt about him. Like, oh yeah, but he stops the run, coach. And I'm like, yeah, but that's all he does. That's it. Like, he doesn't. And I remember I was looking at him like, he doesn't have a first step. He's not even like the type of guy that we want. I distinctly remember why I didn't like him. However, since the 8 weeks that he's been here, the things that he's done, as far as playing with a flat back, having a good, still being able to rush the passer, having a motor, you know what I'm saying? Breaking double teams, not just the run stuff, but showing a versatility in his game. The stop on the goal line against the Rams. Was that against the Rams? The stop on the goal line against the Rams.
Yeah, where he forced the fumble. Yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, you can't say this, that's not going to be expounded upon down the road, right? That you can't want that. All of that stuff combined isn't a one-off. You know what I'm saying? On top of the fact that those moments of being able to see how he's made plays, like, you can't teach that dog, bruh. So for me, yes, could he not be like Alfred Collins, the multiple perennial Pro Bowl player, and like what we would draft the guy for? Yeah, he could not be that. But for what he's done thus far, I was 100% wrong. You can't fake what he's done thus far. You can't fake
you're okay. That, I guess that's fair, because basically what you're saying is the reasons you thought he would struggle were like functional strength and speed and get off and those types of things.
And motor.
You've already seen enough of it to be like, okay, I was wrong in that aspect.
I was wrong. Yeah, okay. He's doing all of that. You can that plays fair. In the NFL with the traits, with what he's doing as a rookie right now. He could survive in the league and then some. He could play anywhere in the league.
Yeah, I agree. And he's massive. I mean, he's a big guy too.
Javon Kinlaw can't play anywhere in the league.
Gojira Von Jinx, we already got you on that one, but appreciate you. Gammon says, you guys are worth more than 3 firsts. I feel like it's a little too early for the sports Valentine's Day heart things, but I feel like this is one of those, every year they do the sports ones.
Yeah.
I feel like this is it. Gammon, you've already set this up. So in February, I expect one of those little sweethearts things with your that message on there. Alex says Grant is finna want that hat so bad.
You gotta rub that in Grant's face. Remember, you guys went back and forth.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. And I won't wear it because it's signed. So there's just no way. Unfortunately, Kyle is gonna ruin CMC. That's what Bill says. Maybe. And we talked about this last night on the post game. But coach, hear me out on this one. This may be true, but this is the last year he has guaranteed money. Maybe he doesn't mind ruining CMC because this is the last year they expect to have CMC on the team. That could be fair, right?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I brought this up last year when we talked about the money for CMC. I said, there's 2 sides to using CMC. There's 2 sides of his career. Mm-hmm. One side is intelligently using him and understanding that if you keep using him at this clip, something's going to happen, right?
Yes.
Like the usage rate with the age and where he is in his career, you can't expect him to just keep taking that type of abuse week in and week out, right? If anything, he's going to wear down before our eyes, right? Or you can look at this and say, my man, not only are you, well, he's not the highest paid running back in the league anymore, is he?
No, not anymore. No.
No. But at the time, you were the highest paid running back in the league, and you circled the block in the middle of your contract and asked for an extension, and we gave you that extension. Right now, as far as the books are concerned, you're one of the deals that makes us look like we don't know what we're doing if we don't play you, right? There's a couple of deals on this team where the amount of money and that they have and how the money has been acquired, if you don't play, there's consequences behind that. We're seeing that with Brandon Ayuk. Well, keep it up, and we might be seeing that with Brock Purdy, where certain guys that get paid a certain amount of money, they don't say it, but there's a clear expectation to play. Okay. And that's one of the biggest issues with Brandon Ayuk. It ain't the fact that, oh, we're trying to get him healthy or we need to see if he's comfortable or get him in great shape of the offense. Nah, man. The elephant in the room is you making $30 million a year and your ass ain't playing. And that's a problem. And a lot of us don't want to be paying you that type of money. So it's just the facts.
It's true. MD says, what's going on with CJ West? He's been a healthy scratch for a couple weeks. He hurt his thumb, was questionable to play against the Rams, didn't play that game, if I remember correctly. Then he did play against Tampa, and since then he's been a healthy scratch. So they're going to need him now. I mean, he's got to give something. What crazy, though, right? He was the darling.
I thought he was
the darling of training camp and it wasn't just one person. So
everybody
agreed. Anybody.
Everybody
agreed. Everybody agreed. So even Grant agreed, and so it's like when you have Lombardi and Grant agreeing, then you kind of just say, okay, that's probably what it is. They all agreed, and it just, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Out. It hasn't really translated. But again, they've seen enough where if he's not making it to the field, this is what it is. Every time a guy doesn't make it to the field, it's not the fact that they don't think that he's not good, but there's liabilities in his game that could be exploited, right? It's almost on the side of we're protecting you from yourself, right? Where if we put you on the field and these things start happening to you, we could never get you back. Your confidence could completely be gone. So we're not going to have you wearing our uniform with your name on your back looking this way. And there just may be a couple of things in CJ West's game where they don't feel comfortable using them.
It's fair. It's fair. All right, let's get to these sleeper picks real quick, Coach. So they've just added pro gaming in here. I know nothing about pro gaming, but what I do know is when somebody's supposed to have 32.5 kills and they're only given a half, I'm going to take the more on that. So I'm just going to go with that. That's the free pick this week. It sounds like it's a lock. All right, let's talk about the Thursday Night Football game because that's really the only thing that's loaded this early in the week other than Monday Night Football, and that game's already happening. So,
what's that, Raiders Broncos?
Yeah, Raiders Broncos. Genty, anytime TD.
Against the Broncos? No.
Against the Broncos. No? Okay. All right. All right. Okay.
He's kind of trying to entice us at times.
Right? I tried to sell you on that. I remember there was a game on last year of Boise State, and I was like, man, you got to watch this guy. He's been crushing, running for 200 plus yards on everybody. I think it was the one game where he just didn't play well, and you're like, I don't know, Jess. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, man. It's just the one game, Coach, but he really has kind of underwhelmed, so I'm not going to lie.
I was like, I don't get it. He's got incredible contact balance, but I just don't think he's not that dynamic of an athlete. Like Bijan is dynamic. He's
dynamic. Yeah.
He gets in space and he literally is a joystick. I don't get any type of that stuff out of Ashton.
I totally get it. Brock Bowers had himself a day. Let me tell you, if you own
he's low key the best tight end in the league.
I'm going more on that one. Just
more. Yeah.
I got to. Okay, let's do. You know what I'm going to do? Let's pass yards. Geno Smith, we're at 212. I don't like that number, but I'm going to tease it down. I feel great about 150, and I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here. Okay, I'm going to put 10 on it. We're going to submit it. Cool 10 for $42, and that's what we're going to do. So listen, you can fade us, you can tail us, but either way, make sure you get that 100% deposit match of up to $100 using promo code LSS. Link is in the top of the description. Also, if you use promo code LSS, you're going to get that free $20 entry. You don't even have to make a deposit. So if you're like, hey, you know what? Maybe not for me. Maybe I'm trying to figure it out. At least take your free 20 bones. See if you can turn it into something more. That's on me. Use promo code LSS. All right, Coach, let's talk about the rest of some of our topics. We might get through our topics today. This would be a first time ever. Just throwing that out there. All right. Trade deadline, Coach. It's coming up. We're less than a day away. Eagles made a big trade today. They went and got Jalen Phillips, 3rd round pick. For the Eagles, I love
got Jalen Phillips from Miami.
Yeah. Yep. They got him for a 3rd round pick. What I love about this trade is that they're most likely going to get a 3rd round compensatory pick for Milton Williams. And they already had the Jets' 3rd round pick. And what they did was traded their own 3rd round pick. So they have plenty of picks to spare. They just went and got Jalen Phillips, who they'll probably get a compensatory pick of some sort, letting him walk at the end of this season anyways. So great trade for them. The 49ers have got to do something to keep pace because they're at 6-3. The Packers just lost Tucker Kraft. That's a huge, huge loss for them. They've been a very strange team. You look at the Rams, a team they've already beaten, the Seahawks, the team they've already beaten. We know they can hang with those teams. Detroit just lost to Minnesota, so they're not world beaters. Tampa beat the 49ers, but also that was the game they lost Fred Warner, so there was a lot of like wind taken out of the sails there. The 49ers are right there, man. They're keeping pace. So how big of a trade do they need to make? Like, we both agree they need to make some sort of trade, but how big of a swing do they need to take in your opinion, Coach?
I think they need to take a significant swing, something that's going to actually transfer into next year. We're past. At first, the logic was don't trade at all. We're not close to making any type of noise during the season. It's not worth it, right? Then it came to, well, we're not a player away, so don't go get a guy that's going to come in and sit down one of our rookies who actually needs the experience to play. None of that, man. It did. None of us called us being 6-3 halfway through the season. You got to respect that, right? You have to respect that record. You can't just play down to what you expect to be. You have to play up to what you are. And then on top of it, now we have influx with some of the guys that have gone down. So I think that they need to go make a splash, bro. Juwan Jennings, and then look, Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, they're all at large. I wouldn't mind seeing any of those guys in a trade package in order for us to kind of right the ship. And we still haven't found a guy opposite Bosa. And there's no any more opposite Bosa because he's not even there anymore. It's time for them to go get a guy. I think that if they swung the fences, I don't know how necessarily realistic this is, but Max Crosby is still out there. That's something that they may be able to do. I mean, I'm talking about if you're going to do it, go do it. I heard that Myles Garrett is somebody that's out there. Maybe the Browns want to play ball, but I don't think that there's necessarily guys out there that would actually move the needle. I mean, you do have like the Commanders are losing, so Dorrance Armstrong is out there. That's something. Carl Grandison is out there for the Saints. I think the Saints have won one game this year. You could possibly go to the Jets. I know McDonald got traded, right?
I don't think so. I didn't see that. Maybe he did.
McDonald is still over there for the Jets.
So is Jermaine Johnson.
So is Quinnen Williams.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Draymond Jones went to the Ravens, so that was a good pickup for them.
That was. But look, I know that we're trying to get the cap together, but there's nobody really taking over the league right now. It's middling, right? Do you feel that way? I don't feel like there's anybody dominant necessarily,
Every
especially
time
in
you
the
think there's a
NFC.
dominant team,
They lose
So it's like,
badly.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
do you
know,
think
man.
that what do you think about Quinnen Williams? Do you think that they would move on Quinnen
I mean, the 49ers might move on him. I don't know why the
for a
Jets would get
second?
rid of him. Yeah, I mean, first, yeah, but the Jets are probably going to want it first. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to have Quinnen Williams, but I don't know about that. I'll tell you what. I think we're looking probably more. I tweeted this out 4 days ago. I said, look out for Joseph Asai, Mazi Smith, and Jonathan Grenard. So Mazi Smith just came out
Cowboys
today. They're benching him before tonight's game. They're not going to play him at all. So he's most likely going to get traded.
healthy scratch.
I could see the 49ers making that trade. Jonathan Grenard may or may not be available. I heard that Minnesota was at least looking into trading either him or Van Ginkel. They've got a younger player that sits behind them. They want to get more snaps to. But they also won this week. So who knows? That may change as well. So I don't know. I mean, I think those are the types of trades that we're looking at. I also think that John Lynch is a master of manipulation when it comes to steering the narrative. And we've seen this happen. Remember when the old tale goes that John Lynch called about Jimmy Garoppolo, and when he was told no, he asked for Tom Brady, right? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Or it was like, oh, well, I know that Khalil Mack went to the Bears, but we offered more than what the Bears did. The Raiders just wouldn't do business with us.
How about OBJ? Remember
stories.
OBJ?
OBJ, Antonio Brown, all of them.
Yeah.
When the 49ers have wanted somebody that's available, they've gotten them. CMC, Trent Williams, you know what I mean? Jimmy Garoppolo, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So half of me almost feels like the 49ers, there's little whispers about Max Crosby or Myles Garrett or Quinnen Williams or Trey Hendrickson. And I feel like that's John Lynch going to the media like, hey, this is what we're looking at. Just you float that out there. We're going to pacify the fans. You're going to want Trey Hendrickson, but you're going to get Mazi Smith. That's what you're going to get. So it's I almost feel like that's coming. I could be wrong, and we'll see. We're going to find out soon. I do think they're going to make some sort of deal. I just don't know that it's going to be this big splash trade. And I don't know that it has to be the big splash trade. So we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. I think they could probably use two. I mean, if they did a Mazi Smith pick swap and then also traded for like a Will McDonald or Jermaine Johnson, I would be fine with that. Because I don't think you're breaking the bank for either. You're probably giving up a fourth or maybe even a third for one of those guys with the Jets, a pick swap for Mazi Smith. And I think that you've kind of rectified that defensive line. You're taking some flyers on some younger guys that still have some upside, and maybe they were just in the wrong systems or what have you. So I wouldn't necessarily hate that. I don't think like the Trey Hendrickson or anything like that's going to happen. Nor do I think it should happen, to be real with you.
Oh, so you don't think we should get a big name?
I'm not necessarily against a big name if it's somebody that's going to be here for a while. Trey Hendrickson specifically, I've been against because
he's old.
He's gonna be 32. He's not under contract. It just, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, I get that. I still think that they need to go out and get themselves. I mean, also, if we keeping it tall, it ain't just edge or defensive tackle, man. I want Jackson Powers Johnson. I've been saying this for about 2 months, and everybody's been laughing at me, telling me like a center's not, offensive lineman ain't gonna get traded. They are not valuing this dude with the Raiders, and the Raiders are still losing, bro. Jackson Powers Johnson. This is no exaggeration. If we got that dude, he would instantly change our offense. Run game, pass game, everything.
You're talking to an Oregon Ducks fan. You're talking to an Oregon Ducks fan. I love this guy. Yes, please. I would love that.
Yeah. I really hope if they got this guy, that'd be huge. Forget you wouldn't even honestly, if they got Jackson Powers Johnson, I'd be okay if they just left the defense as is and just dealt with in-house shit. I'd be that happy with that move.
Okay. All right.
I
would love it. I would love it.
Man, Jackson Powers Johnson's playing with these bums on our offensive line would give all these cats a facelift. All of them.
Yeah. Marcus says, it's been a while. Love what you both do. Who would you trade for and what would you give up? What does Lynch actually do? Love having Sala. I think we just answered this question. I mean, it's unintentional, but I think we did a good job answering this. Marcus, we appreciate you. Thanks for tapping in. Smack Jones says, we all desperately want to see a consistent line. Also, why are we letting Philly load up? Let's make a splash, 6-3. We will lose the locker room if we don't. I don't know if we're going to lose the locker room, but I do see kind of what you're saying, where veterans really want to make a run at this. And if the 49ers aren't aggressive, it may hurt a little bit. Trent Williams did say, hey, I'm putting all my trust.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
In this front office. That's, that's a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Like one thing that we can't miss, we can't, kind of sweep under the rug is that I know we look at them as like, kind of like the bad news bears. They're sticking their thumb to the man. We're kind of like low key one of the nastiest teams in the league. Nobody really wants to play us, right? We've got good coaching. We got just enough veteran leadership on the team for us to play right. We got a live arm and a quarterback. We got a little bit of continuity with CMC at running back. Like, teams low key don't want to play us because we're a conscientious football team and we play 60 minutes. These boys, if we go 7-3, 8-3, they're going to be looking at the team like, I know you better be pushing for us to try to get to the playoffs. Like, you're not going to waste this season just because we're doing more than you expected. So there's a world where the locker room could be looking at John and those guys like, yo, we're in the fight. Go get us reinforcements.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Too much sauce. I don't even know if that's a thing. Does the training staff deserve blame? I mean, somebody deserves blame, something somewhere. This is getting ridiculous. I don't know. Everybody should be under inspection at this point.
Our training staff is on the Epstein files. They need to be tried.
Need to be released. Trump, release those things.
Release those files. Our training staff is on there.
Isn't Colton a free agent after this season? And if so, the Niners let him walk. No, I think he just signed a new deal.
They signed him.
Yeah. I think he's got one more year after this one, or maybe two. Stefan? I'll go with Stefan. Why is there so few Rams fans outside of the internet?
That's so true. I don't know any Rams fans.
I know they exist because I've been to Rams games and I've met a few of them, but there is not a lot of them.
Rams fan, though?
No, not just randomly. I've never once randomly ran into a Rams fan. That's also very true. Alex says, y'all think Sebastian Valdez will touch the field? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. Half Dead is curious, which Rams content creators' balls am I going to gargle this week? Well, listen, Half Dead, it's going to be Jake's again, is whose it's going to be.
No, why did you answer?
Listen. I just thought it was a funny comment. Sarah says, Ayuk and a pick for Jalen Waddle, Jennings for DeMario Davis, second, 2 first rounders and other picks for Miles Garrett or Hendrickson. This is not gonna,
Miles Garrett and Hendrickson is not an equivalent. Yeah, that's not an equivalent.
No.
Miles Garrett is eons better than Hendrickson.
Yeah, there's just no way. Dazza says, you think the Niners feel good about giving Turnstile McKivitz a 3-year, $45 million contract after making Will Anderson and Brian Burns look like Reggie White?
No,
but I mean, it's not a lot for a right tackle. It's really not, but still, they're just paying.
It's a bargain,
players, man.
That's what makes it so bad is that they're both in on it. I could see, like, at least Mike McGlinchey got paid. I mean, at least Mike McGlinchey got paid, and it was like he was a first-round pick. He's not what the Broncos are willing to pay him, right? However, if we could have got him on a deal, we'd have been more than happy with keeping Mike McGlinchey for the fact that he actually was very good at run blocking. You know what I mean? Mike was he was one of the best offensive linemen in run blocking, especially reaching. But with Colton, it's like you cut him before. Like, stop it. You already know what this dude is. Like, he's developed into something, and it's like, hey, man, we got ourselves a nice little deal at right tackle if we just pay this guy enough. And that's why it sucks, because they're not doing their best at the position. They just threw a guy over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Dazza says Niners could have had Drew Dahlman instead of Juice and Farrell. They cost about the same.
Yeah.
I think everybody wanted Dahlman. Yeah. That's the thing.
Dahlman went to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Or the Vikings?
No, he went to Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. But he wanted to go to Chicago specifically, so I don't know that we would have got him.
Yeah. Arizona's playing tonight?
Yeah. That's Walter Nolan, then. That's where he went.
Arizona's like the Arby's of the NFL. Like, have you ever met an Arizona fan?
I mean, speaking of jerseys you don't see.
I've never seen it.
Okay, listen. I went to, this is a true story. I went to Glendale, Arizona for the Final Four when the Oregon Ducks were in it. 2016, something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't see Arizona Cardinal jerseys in Arizona where they actually play football. So no, I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Sean says, I agree with JPJ, coach. They could win with an offense this year. Do y'all think Saleh looks less attractive in the offseason with the defensive injury struggles, or does he get snatched?
He's getting snatched. He's
Yeah,
gone.
Is he though?
He's
not
gone,
because of the injuries.
bro.
I don't know that he's gonna get a lot of looks to be hired as a head coach, man. I've never fully believed it. I never fully believed it.
Give me one good reason why.
He's only a year removed from being a head coach and not succeeding.
Okay.
And people, first of all, being a defensive coach in this league is really hard to get hired anyways, I think, as a head coach. It's much easier to get hired as an offensive guy. So I think that's number one. He's only sat out one cycle, basically. I don't know. I could be wrong. I want to be right about this because I would love to keep him.
I'd love to keep him too.
I'm not sold that he's going to get a lot of looks. Like, he may get a token interview here or there, but I don't know. I think he's going to be here next year. I do.
Well, I'm over here.
But I don't think the injuries change anything. If anything, it should make his stock rise. I don't know.
So what are we ranked in? Hold on. Where are we ranked in the NFL on defense coming through week 9?
I mean, are you talking about yards or are you talking about
just overall
scoring? Probably middle of the pack.
Rushing defense. Yeah, we're middle of the pack. Yeah, we're middle of the pack. All right. I was trying to say something to kind of like throw it in your face. Like, he's doing a great job. The defense is phenomenal. But I mean, with the injuries alone, we'll grade them through the season. What do you think Coach Saleh has done?
So points against, they're ranked 18th. Yards, they're ranked 24th. I don't know. I mean, I think Saleh's done a good job. I've had a couple gripes with him, like a couple games where I'm like, man, I feel like he should be more aggressive, more exotic, all those things. But I think for the most part, he's done a really, really good job. And I think if Bosa and Fred Warner were on this team, this would be a top 5 defense in scoring and yards, in my opinion.
Is there a world where Robert Saleh is just a very, very good defensive coordinator and just head coaching in his thing?
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. I actually agree with Half Dead here. I grew up in the Northwest. I didn't see Seahawks fans before 2012 either. So I don't know.
Yeah, I knew this weird girl I used to date who was a Seahawks fan. And like, we were like, but it was like back when the Legion of Boom was really hype. And I was like, get with ass. Shut up. You ain't no real Seahawks fan.
Yeah, it's not real. If BA comes back and plays a few games, you think the Pats might be interested in him? I think a lot of teams would probably be interested in BA still. I do. So.
Yeah, I think that's a slow cook though. BA's not getting traded before the trade deadline. I think if he gets moved, it's going to be before the draft.
Pandemic Lovato says my boyfriend's husband is a Rams fan. A little cuck joke. I like it.
I love
that's
the
pretty
joke.
good. That's well done. Well done. Definitely enjoyed it. That was well played by you. All right. There's no way we can get out of here without talking about the quarterback position.
Let's do it.
We got to do it. And I really want your opinion because I felt like you were getting ready to go down a path that I didn't expect you to go down with the quarterback position earlier when it got brought up. But Brock didn't play again this last week after practicing yet again. There was rumors that he might be the backup quarterback, then the emergency, then he didn't end up dressing. Shanahan said quite a few things over the last couple of days. One saying, we're not going to play Brock until he's basically Brock and fully ready. But then also in almost the very next breath said, he's not going to be fully healthy this year. So it's like, well, if he can't be Brock and fully ready and you're not going to play him until then, but he's also not going to be fully healthy this year, does that mean you're not going to play him? I'm done predicting when Brock's going to play. This would be like the fourth week in a row where I'm like, he's coming back. I don't know at this point. I really don't know. All I know is Max played well enough to win with, and I don't know what they're going to do with Brock. I don't know what they should do with Brock. I don't know what the right answer is. But you seem to be going down a path. So I'm just going to open this up and let you run with this, Coach. I want to see what you were about to say earlier about Brock.
He's not going to play. He's done for the year.
Like at all, you think?
Yeah, I think he's done for the year.
That means he's playing versus the Rams.
Nah, I think he's done for the whole year. Kyle even said that him being number 2, like, don't even read into that. He was a distant possibility to even be on the field. So him even dressing against the Giants was kind of like ceremonial at best. Can we just call this what it is? This is a soft benching. It's a soft bench. All right. What it is that right now, in order to get you going at an optimal rate, okay, there's a lot of heavy lifting we got to do right now as far as getting you supported, having starting receivers that on the field, making sure that everything's clicking. We can't guarantee that type of environment around you. All right. On top of the fact that the environment that we currently have right now, we have a quarterback that can be able to perform for us without us having to slow things down. Because the truth of the matter is that I don't think that there's enough bandwidth to protect Brock and to roll out an offense all at the same time and deal with the injuries and win games all at once. I don't think we could do that. We don't have the luxury of going into games and lopping off a piece of our playbook because Brock can't run, or taking away pieces of our playbook because Brock can't do certain things. We're not that good. We did it when things were clicking because we literally had every resource around him. But for what we are as a team right now, I don't even look at it as like they don't think Brock is good enough thing. I think that they understand that, man, we can't get this kid hurt again. We cannot protect him. What the team is right now, we can't control the environment around him. And that's what the fans are used to seeing. And that's why we ended up paying him $50 million. And we'd be foolish to put him in an environment that we have been painstakingly trying our level best to keep him away from throughout his entire career. So now we're just going to throw him in there. They're not going to do it. Mac is showing that he can perform and win games with what the team is being able to give us. And also, the team is playing much more free with Mac. All right? Offensive game plans are literally what can be done, who can be plugged in, who can help out, pick up a shovel and dig. Brock Purdy's not that type of quarterback. All right? And the fan base ain't got the stomach to see him struggle at a real rate. And to be honest with you, I think that there's things that could happen to Brock if he played hurt that we can't unsee. So, no, I don't think that he's playing. If you're telling us TBD in week 9, and then on top of it, you're saying that you want him to be 100% to play, but this is going to be an ongoing issue. You're talking out of both sides of your neck. He's not playing. And you're saying whatever you got to say to make it seem okay. And to be honest with you, the only reason why this type of rhetoric is flying is because of how the organization is set up. Kyle is jury, judge, and executioner. He's final say. In a traditional atmosphere, the GM would have to come out and make these proclamations, not the head coach. You're talking about benching a franchise player. All right, can he go or can't he? There will be so much wordsmithing around this on a traditional team, but Kyle could just come out and say, hey, the Pope smoke is out, bro. Like, no, he's not playing. So I don't expect him to play at all. I think Mac is the starter for the rest of the season.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't.
And what are they going to do if he plays and gets hurt again? You know what kills them is they played their card way too early by rushing him back. They should have never rushed him back and to get him out there on the field because they already got him hurt. They already got him hurt twice. So if they bring him back now and rush him back, you know what the elephant in the room is going to be, especially if we're winning. It was good. It's the same narrative that it was when he rushed back against the Jags. Mac looks too good. Brock needs to hurry up and get his ass out there to show and perform, and he couldn't pull it off. So they're not just gonna leave him unprotected. They're not gonna let us see what happened to Brock Purdy last season. Not again.
If he doesn't play all season, coach, that's a problem. It's a real serious problem.
And I got a better one for you too. If he doesn't play, they're still going to be acting like he's just a starter. They're going to be like, Brock's back. He's 100%. Max number 2. No quarterback controversy here. Nothing to see here.
Oh, I agree with that.
They're gonna act like business as usual. So, yeah man, they're gonna smile and nod, dude.
I agree with that. I think he will be back. I think he'll be back. It's
this
some
week.
Point. I don't know, man. Again, this would be like the 3rd or 4th week in a row where I've said, yeah, this will be the week. This will be the week. He's been practicing for 2 weeks. Like, what more do you need? I've got to imagine if I was Kyle Shanahan, I would be frustrated that he's not playing.
Hell yeah.
Well, I've watched you practice 2 weeks in a row. We gave you this massive contract. I'm not saying that Kyle is. I'm just saying I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated watching it go down.
It's
watching
weird.
Mac every single week, Mac picks up a new injury to add to all the other injuries. It's like, oh, Mac has a PCL sprain. Mac has an oblique injury. Mac has a bruised knee. Mac broke his nose. Like, it's always something, but this guy is out there for a fraction of the cost, gutting it out week in and week out, racking up wins to keep this season afloat. And we got Brock out here practicing, but not suiting up and playing. And saying things like, well, when Brock feels like Brock will play. Like, all right, cool, man. So the third person, I don't get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Week 10, week 11 is it. We got Seattle the last game of the season. Nobody's going to care. All right? Nobody's going to care. If Brock is not back by week 10 or week 11, why do we care that Brock is playing against Carolina? Why do we care? Why do we care Brock playing against Cleveland? Nobody cares. We got a bye week after that. Why do we care about Brock playing against Tennessee? No one cares. The Indiana game, maybe. If Indiana is still what they are by the time we see them. But we got Chicago and Seattle left. The meat of the season, when Brock being back and his performance would actually count, is next week and the week after. We got the Rams and we got the Cardinals right here. If you let Mac play basically the entire slate, all 5 of the 6 games of our division, what are we playing Brock for? Nobody cares about those other games. And the only reason why I'm framing my take like this is that before these past couple of weeks, what was the prognosis? Oh, they're just saving them for the Rams game. They're just saving them. They're just getting them ready, making sure that Ricky Persall comes back the right way. Like we're just trying to get them ready because those are the games that matter. If you're walking Mac Jones out there against the Rams and Arizona back to back, what other points of the season does having your starting quarterback matter? That's what I mean by why do we care if Brock Purdy plays against Carolina? Okay, you get paid $51 million a year. You should be able to get that one. You should be able to handle that one, Squirt. You should be able to get that one. But if you would ever want your quarterback who is supposed to be your franchise guy who's making upwards of 50 a year, you want him in your divisional games. If the Niners are okay and the coaching staff is okay with moving past Rams and Arizona in week 10 and 11, dude, Brock ain't playing.
I've seen this comment from multiple people, and I'm glad that somebody else said it again. Burrow's done for the season with turf toe. Willis retired over turf toe. What's not to understand? Why the fuck is he practicing?
Why is he practicing?
Why, if it's so bad, why is he practicing 2 weeks in a row? That's what I don't understand. If he's just simply hurt and can't play and isn't practicing, then fine. He can't play and he can't practice. But he can practice for 2 weeks in a row and not play. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why is he practicing if it's such a big injury? He shouldn't be practicing. If the day before he started practicing for 2 weeks in a row, we heard, oh, it's so sensitive that if he just steps the wrong way, he could start back at square one. Yep. Then the next day he's out there practicing. Why? Why is that the case? That's what makes this confusing. Not that he's hurt. I'm not questioning is Brock hurt.
He's hurt.
I'm not questioning his toughness. I'm not questioning is he hurt. I'm questioning why is he practicing and not playing? It's pretty easy to understand. This is not, hey, Burrow is done for the season and had surgery, or Willis retired and didn't practice and play ever again. This is, he's got turf toe. We understand that this can be serious. Why is he practicing for 2 weeks in a row and not playing? That's why it's so hard to understand. And why that's so hard for you guys to understand, why I don't understand it, blows my mind.
Kyle said it himself. I think Grant asked Kyle straight up, yo, does Brock Purdy need surgery? Kyle said flat out, that's not been communicated to me. He could play.
I don't get it. I didn't get it.
He could play.
So
I believe that Kyle, his side of it is,
and I'm not upset. I'm just passionate. I like to debate. You know what I mean? So I'm truly not upset. I just get passionate over these things. So you're good. You're good. Yeah. I do this with Coach on the phone. Like we get it. It's
every day.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. It's like, I'm not here to say, Brock's not hurt. He's hurt, but if you're Kyle, you want your best guy out there who could do what he needs to do with the offense. I'm going to tell you, man, Mac is putting together a solid season in his stead. It's a solid year. There's no way around it, bro. And
I know
the Niners right now, because of the injuries that we've been having and how things are just very, very how can I just say imbalanced, you can't make it. There's a world where that locker room can't take getting Brock up to speed. We don't have enough bodies to do that, to get you up to speed. And if we're winning, and that's the momentum that we have right now, they can't kill that momentum to just to pace walk Brock. He ain't playing, bro.
I don't get this one either. Tim Cassie, Brock has done a lot more at a lot higher level. Not with this roster, he hasn't.
Not with this.
Not with this. When Brock's played with this, it's looked a lot worse. A lot worse. I would love to see Mac with Pearsall, Kittle, CMC, a healthy Ayuk. Let me see it for 3 games, and I bet you it looks real damn good. Real damn good.
Yeah, man.
So, I don't know.
It ain't about him doing that at a higher level. It's we saw what he did with the team that we had last year. I mean, let's just be honest. The same amount of injuries are happening last year that was happening this year. They are, you know, sans Trent and CMC. But you know, I believe that there is it's an optics thing, and I think that Brock is insulated from the inside out, meaning that the organization, the building, really loves Brock. And I think that the coaching staff, particularly the head coach, is kind of like, dude, are you playing or what? Are you playing or what? And if you're not playing, then get out of the way. Because I got somebody else who can do this shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's hard for me to predict he'll play against the Rams because I've done this for multiple weeks in a row. But I will say if he doesn't play against the Rams, then kind of to your point, like I'll probably start to believe it, because it was reported that the goal was to get back for this Rams game. Essentially, him and Ricky were going to try to get back together for this game. So if it doesn't happen this week, then I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. Like, it's just, I don't know.
We got a bye week 14. All right, we're 4 games away from that bye. We got 2 divisional games, like we just talked about. Rams and Arizona back to back. Then we got Carolina, Cleveland. If Brock doesn't make it back, I think where's my guy? He said it in here. Half dead. He said it right here. After the bye, there's no point in bringing him back. I don't think so either.
I agree.
What's the point of bringing him back after week 14?
Especially if we're like,
and we're winning
14 games. Let's say we're 10 and let's say we're 9-5. Okay.
No way.
So then that means we're 8-4 with Mac. Why? Why would you even disrupt that?
Yeah, and then if we lose out, bro.
They'll play Tennessee out of the bye, I'm pretty sure. So that's,
right.
Brock will look, whatever.
And well, hold on, let's just say this. If they roll him out after the bye, come on, man, that's weak as hell, bro. That is so, even my Brockolites, you gotta know that's weak. That is weak if they roll him out after the bye. So, look, these 2 weeks tell it all for me. We go 500 or undefeated in these next 2 weeks, Brock is not playing for the rest of the season. You can hang that shit up. They not messing up this season. Because if we win out and go 5-1, right? The worst we could do is 5-1 in the division if we win the next 2 weeks, right? Dude, that far shoots over expectations of what they thought this team could do.
Yeah.
There's no need to even get Brock.
We have over 1,100 people watching strong between X and YouTube, man. Thank you to everybody who's tapping in. We really, really appreciate you showing love tonight. Boxing Fan Times 4 says, F them picks. Players are dropping like flies. Every team is losing games. They shouldn't come the playoff teams that are hot right now might be depleted. Yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, like I said, Tucker Kraft just went down for the Packers. Injuries are happening everywhere. I don't know about F them picks, but yeah, I see what you're saying. 11th House of the Zenith says, trade Trent to the Chargers for their first-round pick. They're not going to give up a first-round pick for him, but they could use some tackle help, that's for sure.
We heard about Joe Alt's out for the year, right?
Oh, my gosh, man. Boy, here we go. Herbert's about to get waxed. Alex says, thought experiment. Say we make it to the Super Bowl. Should we risk activating Brock ahead of the Super Bowl just in case Matt goes down? Who's QB2? For sure. For sure. As the backup. If we made it all the way with Mac, then Mac would be starting. But yes, absolutely. Brother Bob says, so we cooked or cooking with Brock? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I just don't think it's that big of a difference. Bill says Niners should renegotiate Brock's contract. No, they shouldn't, because if they renegotiated this year, first of all, there's literally nothing they gain from it. Like, they don't save any money. If they renegotiate it next year, it's only $5.8 million, and even then, when you renegotiate, you're adding years onto the contract. I want all the flexibility in the world to get out of that contract, and $5.8 million is certainly not worth it. So,
a very team friendly deal, though. Brock's deal is very team friendly,
for sure. Brother Bob says Kyle Levy got his pick in Mac 10. Book it. Yeah, it does feel that way. Dazza says Mac with a bruised knee, wearing a brace, injured PCL, and oblique looks better than Brock last year. Yet another reason why Brock isn't a franchise quarterback.
He can operate from the pocket. Mac knows how to deliver from the pocket. I'm telling you, man. It's just Mac with athleticism would almost hurt his game. I feel like he's had to learn how to operate from the pocket due to the fact that he can't just bail.
Zach says Mac can be Mac at less than 100%, but Brock can't be Brock unless he's fully healthy. What's that say about Brock? Again, I'm not going to question his toughness. It's very strange to say the least.
Yeah.
Sean says, Coach, you're being very kind to Brock. Mac took the field and they realized that they just paid $200 million for some British nice. Receivers get injured with Brock, Pearsall, BA, Jennings. We all can see it. They stalling.
Wow. Yeah, like that's why it's so funny to me about this British whole Brock thing, because they're going to roll out every like sound bite and clip of, and mixing things up. And Jesse, we just did it. When you put all of it together, it does not make sense. None of it is succinct. The facts are is they stalling, bruh. They paid this dude and they it's like, come on, son. They paid this dude and then Mac Jones came in here and said, oh, so this is what you paid for? Let me show you something. With a roster that is a quarter talented than what Brock has had in here. It's the facts, bro.
Hold on a second. If let's just say hypothetical, if they wait till Arizona, let's say, to bring him back, what's that? And Pearsall and Ayuk are both back.
Right.
If that's not stacking the deck, I don't know what to tell you.
They better win.
I'm just saying. It would seem pretty clear cut to me.
Yeah.
Because you're doing whatever you got to do, right? Whatever you got to do. So
I wish I wish Brock, I want to say this. Brock deserves all of the resources that the Niners can give him. All right. He is the starting quarterback of this team. So yes, there is a world where when things are not comfortable or things are not safe for your quarterback, you get him out of harm's way. All right. I'm looking at you, Dan Quinn. All right. Like you get him out of harm's way when things are just not, manageable anymore. The only problem is that you can't overlook the fact of somebody else making good on something that the rest of your organization says that is not good enough for you. That's all that this is that what we got on the field right now is not good enough for Brock. That's what they're saying. And it's good enough for Mac. And we're seeing what Mac is doing with this. So all I'm saying is that when Brock rolls back out on the team, we need to start asking ourselves, like, this is the new conversation now, where it ain't about Brock needs to service the team or Brock needs to be the best it is. Now the conversation is going to be, well, Brock didn't have a full offense out there, so what can you expect from him? That's the new conversation.
Yeah. Brother Bob says, don't call him a girl tonight. Shut up. Niner Mafia says, what happens if Mac plays the rest of the season, takes us deep into the playoffs and into the Super Bowl and wins it? Do we have a controversy? No, because at that point, it'll be Mac, not Brock, if that happened. So it would be the opposite way.
There is no controversy if that happens.
Brother Bob says, it's real when Jesse drops an F-bomb. Yeah, every once in a while you get one out of me. Bill says, Brock should be in a boot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if that was the case, I would understand it. This whole practicing for 2 weeks thing and not playing makes no sense to me.
Is there a possibility that Brock gets Trey Lanced?
It would take a lot. It would take basically not fully the scenario that was just laid out in the super chat a couple super chats ago, but something close to it. I'll tell you this. If they win a playoff game with Mac, it better be at least a question. At least a question.
If they won a playoff game with Mac, you don't think that it would be their obligation to have a quarterback controversy?
I mean, it should be their obligation. I don't know that it will be their obligation.
Oh, he's getting Alex Smith, somebody said. Oh, you think Brock gets Alex Smith?
Oh,
that's a good call.
The way that he would get Alex Smith would be this way. Because the way it happened with Alex Smith was there was a lot of promise in Kaepernick, just like there's a lot of promise in Mac, although Mac's playing, a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And then next year, if the 49ers, if Brock is struggling, even if the team's doing well, then you would bring in Mac after a bye or something like that. That would be the Alex Smith Kaepernick situation. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
TVU says it's CMC the true alpha in the locker room. I don't.
Who knows?
It's the football league. It's a lot of alphas. SoCal says, personally, don't think Kyle wants to go back to Purdy. The contract will force him to, though. Well, it's definitely some contract politics. Dazza says, if Brock was a good right tackle, if Brock was a good right tackle, Juice and Farrell for Dahlman, we drafted a left guard, and Fred, Pearsall or BA were healthy. We're legit Super Bowl contender this year.
Crazy.
Maybe Brock can play right tackle. Alex says Mac out there being a dog and getting W's. If they put Brock in and he starts taking nasty L's, the locker room won't be about it. That is actually very true. They just want to win. That
yeah, the same way Brock ascended in the locker room is the same way that he can descend, right? It's like they serve no masters in there. That's what made the doubling down of Brock being like a can't miss guy so disgusting coming from the players, because I hate to say this, man, but there are a lot of NFL players who don't know shit about quarterback. They don't know anything. They know their position.
They're not in the room. They genuinely don't have a clue. They
don't know, bro. And if somebody's winning, all they're thinking about is their money, their contract, and it's like, this is the hot hand. This is our guy.
And I'll give you evidence of this. I will give you evidence of this. And I've told you this before. I don't know if I've ever said it on a show. I was in a Twitter space once where I got into a serious, heated debate with Antonio Cromartie over who was better between Derek Carr and Josh Allen. And I actually had to debate that. He thought Derek Carr was on the same level. And I'm like, you are high. You are high. This was like 4 years ago or something like that. But still, not even. It was like 3 years ago. I'm like, are we really talking about this right now? Is this a real conversation I'm having with an ex-NFL multiple-time Pro Bowler? That's when I realized guys that don't play quarterback especially don't know. And even I'll take it further. I respect, listen, if we're talking X's and O's or game plans, definitely NFL players, you can have it. But if we're talking talent evaluation, they don't know what they're talking about. They have no idea. Otherwise, they would be GMs. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to talent evaluation. They can tell you why it looks a certain way and break down the X's and O's. They can have that in spades, but they don't know how to evaluate talent, especially when it's not at their position. And even when it is at their position, a lot of times they end up loving guys that looked and played just like them, even if they're not good. So,
oh, he a dog. Like, you don't know what you're looking at. Shut up.
Yeah. 808 says they are doing everything in their power to not let Mac have the Avengers because not even Lombardi can gaslight us on that. I think you are underestimating the gaslight ability of David Lombardi, man. He can gaslight with the best of them. So
did you hear him say in other news, did you hear him say that tweet about B-Rob was an upgrade over Jordan Mason? Did you see that?
No, did he really say that?
Yeah, because like, you know, B-Rob got, I think B-Rob had like 10 yards, 10 YPC this game, like 10 yards per carry. Yeah. He's like, yeah, you know, obviously people who were sitting here wondering what was going on with B-Rob, this is emblematic of him being a clear upgrade over Jordan Mason. For those of you asking to get Jordan Mason back, it's like, dude, are you high?
If we are going down that path and we're going to judge a player off of 5 carries and 10 yards per carry, then wouldn't it also be fair to question him versus the starting running back in CMC who had 3.8 yards per carry in the same game? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not going there because I understand that when you don't get the same amount of carries, you can't make the same comparison. But if we're going to do that based off of 4 or 5 carries, then we can draw the same comparison with the other guy who was actually in this game and only averaged 3.8 yards per carry. I'm just throwing it out there.
Bro.
So it's crazy is basically what I'm saying. It's a crazy take.
Insane, man. I really want to find this tweet too. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I like B Rob, but you smoking. B Rob is not better than no damn
Yeah, he is. Brother Bob says he's probably higher. All right. We get it. We get it, Brother Bob. We get it. All right. Listen, that's gonna be a show for us. We made it an
I
hour and a
found
half,
it
Coach. Okay, what is it? What's the tweet? Tell me.
hilarious that a lot of 49er fans were mad at their own team hit the upgrade button over Jordan Mason. Man, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. That's what he said, bro.
I'm gonna say something real quick that I've said to you in private, and I don't care anymore. All right. When we were growing up, the 49ers were an urban franchise.
Very.
An urban franchise, okay? The 49ers have become very suburban, and there's a suburban crew that loves them some David Lombardi, man. David Lombardi just caters to them. They're the same guys that are at country clubs every single week.
The White Claws and Boat Shoes crew.
Bro, I cannot stand it. I can't. It's soft to me. It's weak to me. Mm-hmm. The Niners are an urban franchise. I don't care what anybody says. And this whole suburbs type crew is like, I don't get it. I don't like it.
Petty class war that happens within the fans base, bro. It's very weird. You know what I'm saying? But I don't get it, man. Like, it is what it is. We're all fans under the same logo, but
listen, this is coming from two guys that are now, as we've gotten older, are live in the suburbs. Like, obviously,
I live in the burbs.
Knocking that, like, we live in the burbs, but like, I grew up very urban, and I grew up in an urban neighborhood, and I grew up a Niner fan, which was an urban team. And when you grow up that way, you have that urban vibe about you always. Like, it's just what it is. You're not going to see me rocking boat shoes and slacks on a random Wednesday with a sweater tied around my neck. It's just not who I am. And when I see that garbage, I can't stand
it's so pretentious.
It's so pretentious. Oh gosh,
it's so funny.
I hate it. I hate it.
I don't know, man. I just feel like, clinging to the organization is to gain status is like, it's a very vapid existence. And I feel for people who are in that type of cycle. It's weird.
Yeah, I can't do it. So anyways, all right, that's rant over. Appreciate y'all. Have a fantastic evening. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Nah.